Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are super excited to be reacting to a little bit of a different video on our channel. We're reacting to a worship video. So this is a live praise and worship event. This is elevation worship, but specifically today we are reacting to Chris Brown and Brandon Lake because their vocals are kind of out of this world, and we've been obsessed with both of them for quite a while right now.
I am in love with Chris Brown's voice. I think that, you know, when we talk on the channel, we talk a lot about air and vowel and trying to do things as if you were speaking them, and he does that in spades. He's just, it looks effortless when he sings, and he just kills it. So,
absolutely. And if you happen to be new and this is your first video, we are voice teachers, singers ourselves. We love reacting to other singers and kind of breaking down what they're doing technically, so that way we can get better and you guys can get better in your own singing technique. So today we were reacting to their brand new song, Lion, and this song has some really cool vocal parts that we just want to kind of highlight and share with you. So let's get started.
God of Jacob, great I am, King of angels, Son of man, voice of many waters, song of heaven's throne, louder than the thunder, make your glory known.
Okay, I already want to talk about stuff. I feel like typically his voice is like super resonant and has that ping that we talk about a lot, where there's like a nice nasal resonance. He uses really clear vowels that are pretty bright.
Forward.
Yeah, and forward.
Yeah.
He has a more open sound than I've heard from him. I'm still loving it though. Like I still feel like he still has that resonance and efficiency in his sound from speaking, right? He's just speaking through the vowels. It doesn't seem like he's working very hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And I was about to say the exact same thing, that it sounds like, you know, he would normally, in my opinion, go, no, no, make a story, no. He's really forward and kind of brash. And, this is a lot more space than I think that he usually is doing. So
absolutely.
It's pretty interesting.
Even talking about that melody, like that's a difficult melody to just start on because it's ascending, right? And it's a pretty big leap. Like it goes to a higher spot, and his tonation, he's so in tune because he's using really good phrasing, right? He's singing all the way through the end of the phrase. It's really awesome.
Yeah. Stupid.
Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar.
Ooh, so this is something I am constantly working on, which is my lower range, right? He can sing up into the stratosphere, but that he also, when he drops down the octave, has a lot of clarity there.
Yeah.
And so what most people do is they push it down into their chest, and you'll feel more that way. You'll feel more chest resonance, and that'll make you feel like you're having a lot of power, where you're singing out, and you know what's actually happening is a lot of your sound, what should be going out in the room, is being taken up by your chest. It's being kind of stolen by you know, your chest vibrating. It's taking the energy out of the sound you're trying to make. So I try to think I'm singing high, or really just, I don't change anything about how I sing low versus how I sing high. I am keeping it above, you know, keeping it in a higher place. I'm not pushing it down. So, hail versus hail, right?
Yeah, right.
Hail, Hail,
Yeah.
Lion of Judah.
Your vowels shouldn't change. They could still be bright. And I think too, the other thing that's confusing a lot of times with singing, it doesn't mean you're not going to feel more resonance here. Like that is a byproduct. That is an effect of singing in that register. You could feel more resonance here, but don't aim for that, right?
Yeah.
It's not what you're going for. It's like a, what is a symptom, or I don't know how you'd explain that. Like a byproduct is what I would say.
It's a byproduct. It's not like connected with you sounding big and loud.
Absolutely. Or it's just literally like allow that to happen. Notice it. Notice that, you know what? When I'm sending my air and I'm singing in this part of my register, a lower part of my register, yes, there's going to be lower frequencies, vibrations in my body, but don't aim for that as like a way to say, oh, I'm giving it more. You know what I mean? Yeah, or I'm placing it in this place. That's what's kind of counterintuitive about singing. There's a lot of things that we focus on, and then something happens and we notice that and we go, oh, I'm going to do that every time. And that kind of sets you up for failure sometimes.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Okay,
talk about that?
we have to talk about that.
Roar. There's so much. Yeah.
It's a croon. But it's also
beautiful.
right in that mixy. You know, it's hard to say if something is falsetto or voice, you know, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's a mix. How he's getting that, a little bit like wail, you know, like that, you know, it's not a scream, but it's like a, oh no, you know, it's that wail, is a mix. He's got to have a little bit of the stressor in there to make it
absolutely. And I think where that falls in his voice, I mean, he definitely has a pretty impressive range anyway.
Yeah.
I also think what's cool is you hear his vibrato, which I don't know. And maybe that's not true. Maybe I do hear it a lot in his singing, but specifically there, he's really allowing it to kind of be free. Where typically in this kind of music, you don't really hear vibrato that much.
You don't always have it,
yeah. And so I don't know. I think that was a really beautiful. You're going to notice in this song they kind of bring back like old hymn styles, and that feels even just like an old hymn style way to approach singing. You know what I mean? It's a bit more classic, like classical, not a classical type of singing, but you know what I mean? Like it wasn't very poppy. It's not a very poppy sound.
Definitely not a poppy sound. Yeah. But I think it was definitely a cool effect.
It is cool
on the voice.
Yeah.
Pride of Zion, prophets spoke, our Messiah, flesh and bone.
I just have to. We're gonna pause every 5 seconds.
I know.
Messiah. A lot of people go Messiah, Messiah versus our Messiah.
Yeah.
Even when you're singing an it's not our Messiah.
Yeah.
Right? I immediately have to work harder to do that.
Right.
But if I keep it just like I'm talking, you know, keep my I always think space high, not space low. So space low would be, you know, big with your tongue and stuff.
Yeah.
Our Messiah.
It's going this way.
It's going
up. Yeah.
Not down.
And
space
that helps with intonation, because we've talked about this before too, like the frequencies of notes. When you lose that high end, you kind of lose the intonation a little bit. It doesn't necessarily sound completely flat,
You
but
just
like
have to work harder to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you lose the resonance, you lose a little bit of that beauty and like the true like tonality.
Yeah,
and it's just really nice to hear him going all the way through that.
Well, that's one thing I would say I learned from him.
Absolutely.
Was, you know, just relax and speak it out.
Yeah.
Even if it's a high note, low note, whatever note, you just relax and speak it out.
Just keep going.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's nice.
You alone are worthy to open up the scroll. Like the lamb you suffered, but the lion has arose. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar. Hail, hail, Lion of Judah, let the lion roar.
before we get into this next part, we do want to mention a little bit about how this is obviously a worship event, right? This is a worship experience. So what we're talking about right now is purely technical.
Yeah.
What we're talking about and what we want to talk about is from the performance aspect of it, because ultimately these people, these musicians are putting in a lot of work. They are, working with their voices technically outside of this. They are making it so that way when they show up to this experience or performance, whatever you want to call it, they're focused on leading, right? So I think it's really evident in a lot of contemporary worship music how technical these leaders are because of how effortless it looks, right? What they're doing right there is technically challenging. It is vocally challenging and looks and seems effortless, and it has to be that way in order to do what they're actually doing, because it's not just a performance, right? They're not just singing. They're leading. There's a lot more to it. But I think that that's something that I just wanted to take a moment to talk about, because even if you are familiar with the worship side of things, there's a misunderstanding that, people are just blessed with a beautiful voice and they don't have to work for it, or you were just given this, or it's the prodigy kind of idea. And I just, from our perspective as people who had talent, you can be born with talent, whatever, but also it takes effort and work to continue to do that and to do it well. And I know for a fact that all of these people are doing that and are working very hard vocally to make sure that they can do these things. Because if you went on a Sunday or on a tour or whatever and didn't have good vocal technique, you would lose your voice very quickly.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and I think it's exactly what you were saying. You have to be this good up here so that you can just, kind of not necessarily go on autopilot, but they're not thinking about their singing and their singing technique while they're doing this.
Right.
They're thinking about connecting with the congregation. They're connecting with people. They're trying to leading worship, you and invite the Holy Spirit, all that kind of,
right.
There's a lot of things that aren't singing, aren't the music side of what they're doing right now.
Absolutely.
And so they have to be able to sing or whatever with their instrument so well that they don't have to think about it.
It's a lot of multitasking. And I think that's just any profession. In any profession you have that. When you are a runner, you focus on really minor details and strengthen minor things that are separate, right? In practice, but that's not what you're doing. You're not thinking about all of those things when you're running or sprinting or whatever,
Yeah.
Prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way. Prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way. Prepare the way of the Lord, prepare the way. Prepare the way of the Lord. Oh, valley, be raised up, on mountain, be made low. Oh, valley, be raised up, on mountain, be made low. Be made low. Oh, valley, be raised up. Oh, mountain, be made low.
That was awesome.
Wow. Okay, I want to talk about Brandon Lake a little bit.
Love to.
So he, the gentleman with the braids, yes, his voice is, I don't know, there's something about it. And I think it might be what many people on the internet would call twang. I think they would call twang because it's like that, not like literal twang, like, I don't know, twang to me is like a drawl, right? Like it's like Southern accent. But I think many people on the internet refer to it as like, vocal teachers on the internet are referring to efficiency, right? But efficiency in like a stylistic way.
Sure.
That's what I think we're referring to. But what I want to talk about is I want to talk about his vowels are obviously unique to the way he speaks. Like he sings with a bit of an accent,
Yeah,
right?
no, totally.
Like you can hear that.
Absolutely.
And I think what's so cool about it is it's not affecting him. Like we saw a TikTok the other day where it was like if Australians actually sang an Australian accent, it would be really hilarious because it's
Yeah.
just not how you sing. Like and I think that's where a lot of people are like, Adele doesn't really sing with a British accent. Sometimes she has like words that her vowels are a little taller, but typically we sing relatively accentless,
Yeah.
right? And I think that what's cool about this is I feel like the choices that he makes, he's speaking. He's still just speaking. He's not doing
Yeah.
anything. He's not placing anything. He has a bit of an accent, but
Mountain.
yeah, but I think it really aids to his singing, right? Like, oh, mountain. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mountain.
Yeah.
There's a growl in there.
Be low.
Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's something I wish I knew more about.
Mm.
You know, the growl is something that I can do, but I'm personally a little bit afraid of doing it.
And hurting,
because
yeah.
I don't want to wear my voice out. I'm constantly trying to not preserve, but use my
No.
voice in a healthy way because I will lose my voice.
Right.
If I'm not consciously singing healthy.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
we don't
pretty
have a
quick.
lot of experience in that. Like, there's not a lot of necessity for those growls and stuff in what we typically do.
Sure.
I think that absolutely it fits. Like, we do a lot of like covers of things, you know,
Yeah.
where it could be efficient or it could be helpful and appropriate. But for me, because I don't have a lot of experience, I think the way that you approach it is it's like few and far between.
Yeah.
You're not doing it all the time, and make sure that you have good air support, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that the reality of growls and stuff like that is that there is going to be some tension.
Yeah.
I think that's a reality of what you're doing.
That's what that sound
That's
is.
what that sound
Yeah,
is. That's
that's
how
what
you
that
make
sound
that
is.
sound.
Yeah, no,
so it's
totally.
not about like, I think that saying that there's a healthy way to do it, I think it's just like doing it with good intentions, not just
Yeah.
blindly going after it,
Yeah.
because then you really could hurt yourself. I think after a long enough time, you might have some fatigue from
Sure.
doing that. I think that's just
Absolutely.
the reality of it. It's just like screaming, you
I
know?
always wonder how much fatigue people, different
Absolutely.
different artists have after certain concerts or performances. This
Right.
looks like a worship night, so they probably did.
It was more than
2
one.
hours of
Oh,
2
for
hours of
sure.
music, probably.
Probably, yeah.
So even my favorite,
Yeah.
Chris Brown,
Yeah.
who I think sings so healthily.
Yeah.
I wonder if his voice is also gone. Is your voice gone at the end of the night?
Right.
What's that like? So.
Right.
So it's I think it's something I'm always curious about, and I'm happy to learn more.
Absolutely. Well, we hope that you guys ultimately enjoyed this video and learned something new. We learned a lot.
Yeah.
I always learn from listening to these two and many. I mean,
Song
there's
is
a lot of
awesome.
great video or singers on the stage, specifically in Elevation. They
Yeah.
have a lot of great talent. But we love watching these videos and kind of tearing them apart and breaking them down so that we can learn things. So we hope that you guys learned something and can take something away from it as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified the next time we post. We will see you guys next time.